Hi there, Sanjay Gangal from EDACafe. I'm here with Dave Heller, president of Heller Industries. Hello, Dave.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us, Dave. Tell us, first of all, about Heller Industries.
Oh, the company was started in 1960, back in the olden days when components had wires called leads coming out, and our machines were primarily wire bending machines or lead forming. In the mid 80s, when surface mount components came out, we developed a forced air reflow machine, and that's become our primary product going forward.
Okay. And now, vacuum reflow is gaining traction in the industry. What unique features set Heller apart in this growing market?
Yes, vacuum has become a very significant part of our business over the last 10 years. There are a number of things that we do that are inherently different. Probably the most significant one is how we do pressure control. We have very fine control of pressure throughout the vacuum cycle. We can control how quickly or slowly the pressure drops and then comes back up again. This allows us to minimize the rapid boiling off of flux because if flux boils off too quickly, as the pressure drops, the flux will actually explode, and that causes solder balls. And if the pressure goes back up too quickly, then you'll have flux swirling around the board, and that creates a defect as well. So again, the pressure control is the most important. The other thing that we're working on, which is very important, is higher throughput. Um, in general, a vacuum machine will have lower throughput than a conventional reflow oven, and customers will shy away from using vacuum because they pay such a penalty with throughput. Our latest machines, though, have some advanced conveyor designs, and it allows you to recoup virtually all of that lost throughput. So our machines typically have as much as 2 to 4 times as much throughput as other vacuum. The final thing that we do, which is unusual, is we might call it mass customization. If a customer comes to us with a very unusual requirement for a big, wide, tall board, we have sufficient engineers on staff who are familiar with this design that we can very quickly come up with a custom design for them to fit their circuit board. And that's allowed us to earn significant market share, particularly in the large board area.
Okay. Now, with ongoing trade uncertainties and tariff concerns, how has Heller adapted its global strategy?
Well, it's been a long road in that area. We originally set up in Montreal, Canada, and that was wow back in the 90s. After that, we set up in Korea and then in China, and that was stable for almost a generation. Um, Probably about 2 years ago, one of our largest customers came to us and said that they would like us to start building machines for them in India. And we said, sure, we'd love to because we're already planning on moving to India and setting up there. So we just accelerated the timeline. We built our first machine in India last summer, and now we're moving into mass production of our machines for local Indian customers and then also for export eventually. Um, this three legs to the stool has given us considerable flexibility to be able to handle the winds of trade issues. You just never know what's going to come in the morning, be
That's
it
true.
tariffs or trade restrictions. So having multiple factories gives us the flexibility to be able to serve the customer no matter what happens.
That's pretty awesome. And how is Heller leveraging artificial intelligence to enhance the efficiency and performance of the reflow ovens?
Well, AI is very exciting. And the question is, how can we make it apply to basic industries like machine building? So we've looked hard at that, and we've got really, I would say, three prongs to that strategy. The first is using AI to help our customers uh, be more efficient with their service efforts. Um, to use AI as a tool for the operator to improve their ability to do routine maintenance. If they have a question, they can ask in a normal conversational way, answer that's usable. They don't have to go through an instruction manual for a half hour trying to figure out where the information is. It just comes right to them, which is very, very helpful. Makes the system much more user friendly. The other area is in increased company productivity. And so what we're doing there is working in engineering to use existing tools and to create tools of our own that will allow our design engineers and electrical engineers to be much more efficient. not just recycling old designs, but creating new ones that are that are more efficient from a manufacturing and operations point of view. And then the final idea of productivity is what can we do with AI to make our factories more efficient? And it's not just in how you run the factories, but using advanced robotics to actually do some of the work. I don't think our machines will ever be made by autonomous robot armies, but there's going to be a lot of evolution over the next 5 to 10 years. And it's actually very, very exciting.
Okay. And earlier on, you mentioned that you expanded operations in India. Can you provide an update on this initiative and insights into how the Indian market is shaping up for your business?
Sure. We set up in Western India in Gujarat province, just outside of the city of Ahmedabad. And it's a great center for commercial activity. We found some wonderful vendors to work with, great people. So it's been very hospitable to us. It's the region where Prime Minister Modi comes from, and they're very, it's conducive to foreigners coming in and setting up shop. They understand what we need and have been very hospitable. The ovens that we are making are effectively the same designs as what we're building in our other factories in China and Korea right now. So we leverage the existing designs, existing procedures. And in fact, we're bringing some of our Indian expats who are now working in Korea and back to India to bring with them their knowledge. There's been a long history of cooperation between Korea and regions like Chennai. So because a lot of our expats are from Chennai, they went to Korea first, and now they're coming back home. So it's interesting and exciting. The culture is also very familiar to us because a majority of our people in New Jersey are actually from India. They were born there, came to the US, came to New Jersey, and now work at our company. So it's been a long time. We've been celebrating Diwali at our company in New Jersey for many decades now. So the culture is familiar to us.
Great, great. And you must be gearing up for Holi also this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes.
And what key market trends are currently influencing reflow oven manufacturers? And what innovations can we expect from Heller in the near future?
Yeah, I think that there are two areas that are driving reflow oven design. The basics haven't changed. We still have to melt solder, sometimes in air, sometimes in nitrogen. But there are a couple of things that are interesting that are going on. One of them is ultimately we need to reduce the power consumption of our machines. If a line has a water wash, both the oven and the water wash are the major power users in the line. And particularly after the war started in Europe, there was heavy pressure to reduce power consumption. That's normalized a little bit, but I still think that reducing power consumption is going to be a big driver going forward. The other area is what we mentioned before is mass customization. People want the machine that they want, not necessarily your standard version. And a lot of our customers have come to us and said, can you do this a little bit differently? And our answer is always yes. That's not easy. We really have to structure our company from order entry all the way to quality assurance and installation to be able to handle this enormous, almost infinite variety of machines that we make. A lot of our people refer to our machines as snowflakes because from a distance, they all look the same. But if you get really close and under a microscope, they're almost all different. And that's been very, very helpful for us to grow market share.
Okay. And as sustainability becomes a growing concern, how is Heller incorporating energy efficiency and eco-friendly solutions into its products?
There are certain things that we can do that are standard and easy, but we did a study for one of our large cell phone customers. Where does the power go? If you're putting in, let's say, 10 kW of power, where does it all go? And so we did an audit to show them how they could improve their power efficiency. And the first thing that was very obvious was dual lane. If you run twice as much throughput through a single oven, then the power consumption per unit goes way down. Not quite half, but almost. And then the obvious things like blowers, the power for the blowers, uh, greater insulation, separating the hot from the cold zones. Now, a lot of these things are compromises. Either they'll cost more or they will impact performance in one way or another. So we have to work with the customer on engineering and managing these compromises. So there's no surprise when the machine shows up.
And what is the best way for our audience to find out more about Heller Industries on the internet?
Well, I think the best thing to do is to take a look at our website, www.hellerindustries.com. But for people who still crave human contact, please give us a call at our headquarters or any of our facilities throughout the world.
Okay. And David, is it okay if I ask you a couple of personal questions?
Absolutely, please.
What do you do for fun outside work, or what is your personal passion?
Well, I would say exercise is the big thing. I either walking or running. If we had enough snow, maybe cross-country skiing, and of course downhill skiing.
No, that's pretty impressive. And can you also share something about yourself that most people at Heller Industries who work with you not know about you?
Wow, pretty open book, but let's see. I have two daughters. Both of them are at the University of Michigan studying. The older one wants to be a physician's assistant or a doctor, and the younger one wants to get involved with business. So if you see a female Heller uh, during a sales call, you'll know who that one is.
Okay. Final question, Dave. Cats or dogs?
Wow. As a child and teenager, cats. As an adult, dogs.
Yeah.
Strongly.
And do you own any dogs?
No, we have part responsibility for our neighbor's dog. So when our neighbor goes on vacation, we dog sit. Now, the dog is very intelligent, and the dog will sit with me during design reviews and make suggestions, which are amazing. It's very often dog knows what to do. So
Uh,
I hope the dog has a long life.
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Well, thank you so much, Dave, for taking time to record this interview. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you. Take care now.
Okay, this is Sanjay Gangal from EDA Cafe.